Hi everybody, it's Kyle. Hey, today I want to cover something that's been kind of weighing on me a little bit recently, and that's this: is I wonder sometimes if I'm kind of failing you a little bit. And let me explain what I mean by that. I recently was contacted by somebody who watches my videos and they asked me, "Is this what you did? I mean, your daily videos are." I like your daily videos, and you talk about different subjects and things that are on your mind, but is that what you guys did as a family to kind of bring back the happiness and joy in your home? And honestly, I had to answer that no, it wasn't. Daily videos really wasn't what we did, or a daily focus, or the things that I challenge you to do on a day-to-day basis really don't necessarily mirror what we did as a family that led us back to happiness and joy and helped us to thrive as we raised our kids on the spectrum. So I want to tell you what we did as a family and give you a couple of tips, and maybe you can start applying some of those things, because this is really the secret behind the happiness that we've discovered and the joy that we've been able to experience. So when we realized our family was going down a horrible path and it was going to fail miserably, and we decided we weren't going down like that. we decided that once a week we would meet as a family, my wife and I and my two oldest sons, and we would ask ourselves a couple of questions in specific reference to our two sons that are on the spectrum and ourselves. And the questions we decided we would ask every week, and we wrote these down, and we wrote down the answers every week as well. So I'm going to share those with you because they're ingrained in my brain. I'll never forget them. But the first one was, what did we do right this week? And so each one of us would talk about how we handle ourselves the right way when there was an escalation or something happened. And so we wanted to focus on that first. What did we do that we did right this week? Maybe we were extra patient in the grocery store when one of our kids had a meltdown, or maybe when one of them was mean to us, we were kind back and showed them an excessive amount of love, or whatever it was we did right. We wanted to talk about that. The next thing we wanted to do is we wanted to talk about what we did wrong, or where we struggled, and we wanted to review the activities of the week and talk about what was our reaction. And sometimes it was hard because sometimes we didn't react very well. Sometimes we didn't manage ourselves in a way that was best for our kids. And we wanted to document that. We wanted to write down exactly the steps we took, what we did. If we didn't know what we did, if we just lost our temper, we would write that down. And we would write down what we did wrong and what we were struggling with. And then the third thing we would ask is, what are we going to do next time? And what are we going to do right next time? And we would talk about that when we would write down the things that we were going to do right and what we should have done in situations where we didn't do right, or we lost our patience, or we became frustrated, or we yelled, or whatever it was that we shouldn't have done. We wanted to talk about how we were going to fix that and do it right the next time. And then we always went back to what we did right. We wanted to talk about that at the beginning and at the end so that we could feel bolstered. We didn't want to leave those discussions feeling like we weren't doing our kids a service. We wanted to leave those feeling good about what we were doing. And one of the things we think we always were doing right is reviewing our weekly behavior as a family and what we could do to be better parents and better brothers for our kids that are on the spectrum. So the final thing we did, and this could take anywhere from 10 or 15 minutes to a couple of hours. It didn't really matter. What we wanted to do was we wanted to get to a point where we were doing more right things than anything else on a very consistent basis. And the final thing we did was we said, what is our focus for this week? And we decided on a focus together as a family. And maybe that focus was on one of the virtues. Maybe it's patience. This week, we're all going to try to be as patient as we could. And we would we would type it out and print it up in a couple of spots, the word patience, and stick it in the bathroom and stick it on the refrigerator and stick it, wherever we thought we would see it consistently. And that was really a real key for our success, because seeing those things very consistently and knowing we have a weekly focus and focusing on that specific thing for an entire week was very beneficial to us, because it allowed us to have one specific focus. I do daily videos where I talk about different things, but as a family, we wanted to focus on one thing. And so through the week we would do that, and then we would meet again on Sunday night, and we'd go through those same questions, and I'll share them with you one more time. And I would challenge you, since it's the weekend, to maybe start them yourself on Sunday with your family. What did we do right? Write that down. What did we do wrong? And share those experiences, or what are we struggling with? And then what are we going to do next time after we review what we did wrong? What is our plan for the next time this happens? And then we close with, what are we going to do right again? Or what did we do right again? And then again, a weekly focus. And those focuses can be anything. It can be patience, it can be gratitude, it can be just showing exceeding kindness for each other, or we talk to each other kindly, or there's a million things. Look up the book of virtues. I think it's Benjamin Franklin. There's hundreds of virtues, and print those off and stick them somewhere, because that is what we did. And to this day we still meet on Sunday nights and have these discussions. It wasn't very long, I'll be honest with you, it wasn't very long before we spent a lot more time talking about what we did right and a lot less time talking about what we did wrong, because we were focused. We would learn from our mistakes, and we would move forward knowing that we could do what was right. We would make plans to do what's right. And so that's what I want to share with you for the weekend. Do that this weekend. Sit down. What are we doing right? And then what are we doing wrong? What are we struggling with? What are we going to do next time that's right? And then close with, what are we going to do right? And then create a focus for your family for the following week. If you'll do that, you'll have the same success we did. And the reality is, all we want in this world is happiness. And we're the ones keeping us from happiness. So do that. Hopefully that's helpful. Have a great day. Have a great weekend. Bye-bye.